Hello friends. Welcome back. I am so excited to get to vlog for you guys again. I haven't in a couple of weeks just because I have been lacking the ability to just take a normal shower. And just feeling gross and not really feeling up to it and just being really tired has all kind of stopped me from feeling in the mood to vlog for you guys, but I am so excited to do it today. I'm feeling on top of the world today. So I just wanted to kind of share you two perspectives of my recovery so far. One is going to be more of like a logistic explanation of kind of how I've been moving along since my surgery, and then one is going to be kind of like the emotional breakdown or how I've been feeling since I've been recovering with my situation. So I'll start with logistics. So my recovery has gone really, really well, and I've healed really, really well. And I went and had my first post-op with my plastic surgeon last week, last Wednesday, and they had me like take off my compression bra for the first time while I was standing up, and I was really scary because I had accidentally done it on like day 2 or 3 after my surgery, and it hurt so bad. I've never cried like a baby so much in my entire life. So I was very, very nervous about it. But yeah, I took it off and it just felt completely fine and normal. And they were looking at me like they were checking things out down there, and they were like, wow, like I don't understand how your scars have healed so quickly. Like, that's pretty spectacular. And they were just like amazed at how like well I was healing. So it was kind of nice. And then my plastic surgeon came in and she checked on everything, and everything looked good. And they were looking at my drainage numbers, which was the determining factor of whether or not I was getting those stupid drains taken out. And they were low enough that they could take all 4 of my drains out, which I don't know if I ever actually explained to you guys what the drains are, so I'll kind of try to show you here a little bit without showing you too much. So basically what they did is they had this site, see this Band-Aid right here. There's like a little blood on it from my drain site actually where they took it, but there's these 2 holes that they put in my side here, and they had these tubes, these like I don't really know what material they were, if they were like vinyl or whatever, but they had these tubes that were going into my actual, where my new implant is. And kind of, so what they did is they had one that kind of snaked up and around here to drain any excess fluid from the surgery. And then they had one that was snaking down here that would drain also excess fluid from the surgery. And it was the same I have the same stuff on either side. So yeah, so the drains are honestly just there to drain any excess fluid from surgery. And basically, if you're draining a low enough amount, then you don't need the drains anymore. And I was draining that low enough amount, and I was so happy because as I was draining more and more and more, and as my swelling was going down from the surgery, the drains began to get tighter and tighter and tighter inside my chest. So thank goodness they were able to take them out, because those last couple days were honestly the days I was experiencing the most pain from the drains, because the pain doesn't really, I have no feeling, so the pain doesn't affect this at all, like my incisions or anything. It's honestly just the drains pushing up against my actual like chest, which I can feel underneath, but I just can't feel anything surface level or inside, because it's obviously not even my own tissue inside, so can't feel that either. But everything under I could feel, and they took my drains out, and I was very, very happy about that because I became like a free woman. So I'm like, I went I went from being able to lift my arms like this much to being able to lift my arms this much, which is a big deal. Because I can reach into my cabinets if I need to get anything down, which I've tried to bring things down so I don't have to do that as much as possible, but I still do for some things. And then, yeah, so then I had my technically my first post-op with my surgical oncologist on Friday following that Wednesday. And I sat down in front of her with my gown, and she opened it up and she was like, okay, well, I don't really have anything to say to you. This is going to be a very short appointment. You've healed really well. I'm pretty in awe. And just basically then she went through and kind of asked how I was feeling. And yeah, I told her like everything was feeling amazing. Recovery felt like it went a lot better than I expected it to, and it was a lot easier and smoother than I thought it would be. And we kind of got on the subject of, which I know she went to school for 12 or more years for what she does, so she of course knows what she's talking about more than I do. But I kind of was saying to her like, hey, like, I'm just kind of following what my body is telling me. And something that occurred to me is that the timelines that you've given me, so the timelines that they give you are, it's like 4 to 6 weeks before you can get back to any regular activity at all. 4 weeks of no housework, no cleaning, cooking, anything, no gardening, no taking your pets for walks, which I don't have pets anyway, but you can start like walking on a treadmill mildly after 4 weeks. You can start kind of doing light training after 6 weeks, and that's like body weight training, like nothing workouts, not nothing workouts, but nothing compared to what I'm used to doing workouts, and so on and so forth. And and one of the big ones was driving. I'm not supposed to drive for like 3 or 4 weeks, I think, and then showering. I don't want to talk. That was just until the drains came out. I can shower now. I don't look like I showered today, but I can shower now. But yeah, I was talking to her about all these timelines and how everything was, based on their average patient, their average timelines based on their average patient, which if you think about it, their average patient is honestly probably like a 50-something, 60-something year old woman who has breast cancer, has already had children, they've aged significantly compared to me, who I'm 25 years old, and they're probably, a little more out of shape. So I was saying to her, are these guidelines really realistic for me? Because I'm 25 years old and I'm healthy. I work out like 6 days a week. I take care of my nutrition. I haven't had any kids. I don't have cancer. Like, all of these things are playing in my favor. Are these timelines really realistic for me? And she was like, no, I agree 100%. Like, you're right about that. Like, these are average timelines based on average patients. I think it's good for you to have them as a guideline for when you are starting to listen to your body, because I can have as many years of practice under my belt, but I haven't gone through this for you, so I couldn't tell you what it actually feels like. I can only say listening to your body is one of the main things that you should do. Any person should do is listen to your body and do what it's telling you to do. So yeah, the appointment went really well. I love her so much. She did such an amazing job. They both did such an amazing job on my surgery. And I'm so glad I got to have them work on me, because they're just like, they're a great pair. It was a great pairing. And yeah, so I took what she said and I listened to my body, and I drove home on Friday, which I probably was not supposed to do, for at least another week, or maybe like tomorrow or the next day. But I was getting really, really antsy, and I really wanted to be home and it just in my space. I just feel like I can be a little more productive here. And even though I had cleaned my apartment before I left, so I would come home to a clean apartment, I still was just like, there's so much I need to take care of at home, even though there was literally nothing I needed to take care of. But yeah, so drove home Friday, and I haven't really been driving since. My sister's been chauffeuring me around like an angel. She took me grocery shopping on Saturday and helped carry my groceries in. And then she drove me to we have family dinner on most Sundays. And so she picked me up and drove me to that, which was really nice. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Logistically, my recovery has been insanely amazing. I've experienced very, very little pain. Honestly, the most pain I experienced was just that tightness from the drains the last couple of days, and then one of the first 2 days when we were like cleaning my incisions and putting new fresh gauze on. And by me, I mean my mom, because I couldn't do anything. We had a little mishap, and it was very painful, but it was temporary and short-lived, and I got over it. So yeah, and then as far as the emotional aspect of my surgery, I feel amazing. I've had maybe I just haven't had enough time to process, but I'm also not I'm not a super emotional person when it comes to stuff like this, because it's just, I use my logical brain in these situations more than I use my emotional brain, because it's like, okay, well, now I've got a lower chance of getting breast cancer than the average healthy, perfectly normal woman walking down the street who's got like a 12% risk or whatever. I'm at like, I don't know, 8 or so percent, 7% risk, which is amazing. It's just like weight off my shoulders. But yeah, so I just feel really great about everything, and everything looks really good down there. I'm not going to show you guys, but it looks really good down there. And I'm really psyched about the work that if my oncologist hadn't done her work the way that she had done it while she was in, my plastic surgeon wouldn't have been able to do quite as an amazing job as she was able to do. So the two of them together were an awesome combination. But yeah, I'm not feeling grief over losing anything down there. I'm not feeling like upset or like, honestly, the only thing I'm feeling any kind of like worry or fear about is the how my scars are actually going to heal. If they're going to heal like so that they're very subtle looking, or if they're going to heal so that they're really obvious looking. I just don't know. It's only time can really tell for that. But I know the sooner I start treatment, which I would like to start some scar therapy, hopefully in the next few weeks, if all of my sutures come out, I would like to get started on a scar therapy program that I found online, actually through one of the bloggers that I shared in my first blog, called Embrace Scar Therapy, but it's very expensive. So I'm not 100% committed. I might just be doing some Mederma, but if I can afford it, if I can find it in the budget to buy that scar therapy program, then I'm gonna do that, because the results look amazing from it. But that's honestly the only thing I've been worried about. And then also like somewhat worried about, I'm just gonna be open with you guys, I don't have nipples, so I'm gonna get those tattooed, and I have my heart set on going to Baltimore to go see the Vinnie Myers team, or Vinnie Myers himself, which if you don't know who he is, he specializes in nipple tattooing for patients like myself who went through this surgery. And he does, his work is like amazing. His portfolio is out of this world. And they can do tattooing at the hospital that I went to for my surgery, but it's just not, it's not the same. It's like they have like a computer that does it for them basically, which is fine, and I'm sure they come out okay. But like this guy Vinny like has a pen in his hand and he's like doing all the details, and his portfolio is just spectacular. So very nervous about that. He's also very expensive, but I'm assuming he's probably worth every penny. So that's really the only two emotional ties I have to the whole situation, and they're not strong enough for me to say that I have been feeling any like concern or sadness or anything. I'm not like grieving any losses, or like everything just feels good. I feel just like a normal woman. Like I have not lost my womanhood. Like everything's just perfect. In my mind, in my opinion. So yeah, so that's just kind of how I've been feeling. So now you've heard both sides. And I really don't have anything else to update you guys on. I will have a blog post that goes along with this. And other than that, I hope to be vlogging more in the future because I actually really enjoy this. It's kind of nice to say, I love writing and I love like typing up a whole blog post. I really enjoy just the challenge of finding ways to make the posts more appealing to my audience, but this is also really enjoyable, and this is a nice way to spend my time. Plus I can drink my coffee at the same time, so duh. But yeah, so I will be vlogging again soon, hopefully, and a lot more in the future. And thank you guys for following along and checking in on me, and I will be talking to you soon.